Todo no se va a caer.
No comments.
Te pasa lo mismo que me pasa a mí con Betty, que por ahí.
So if Paul Bashir watched the interaction that I had today with the three people, uh, when I was using the reverse psychology, then he would understand why I'm using it. And it was very effective in that interaction. I said to her, "You'll never stop killing animals." And then she said, "Oh, how do you know this?" Which is what everybody says. And then I said, "I ask you that question for a purpose, to get a point."
Hola, parlo català, English, español. Estoy enseñando las industrias que usan animales. Todos estos animales que veis aquí son animales que han estado supuestamente bien cuidados, sin jaulas, felices, etcétera, pero acaban todos en un matadero, con lo cual, ¿esto es agradable o desagradable ver? Por lo tanto, si no es suficientemente bueno para vuestros ojos, ¿cómo es que lo es para vuestro estómago? Porque supongo, no lo sé, coméis esto. Ah, sois veganos.
Vegetariano.
Por eso estoy aquí justamente para los vegetarianos, porque no entendemos los veganos por qué matáis las vacas, matáis los terneros, matáis las gallinas y los polluelos. ¿Por qué lo hacéis?
¿Y los qué?
Los pequeñitos de los, ¿cómo se dice en castellano? Los pollitos. ¿Sabéis la crueldad que hay detrás de la industria de los huevos o no? ¿La sabéis o no? Vale, entonces ¿por qué seguís haciendo? ¿Por qué? ¿Qué es lo que os hace hacer eso? ¿Qué quieres decir algo hacemos? Las gallinas sabéis que están modificadas para dar más de 300 huevos al año. Eso lo sabéis, ¿no? A ellos da igual, vale, muy bien. Ya lo veo. They were laughing because I'm using cameras and that's why they left, is that it? These people were not ritual, obviously. Vegetarians are not ritual anyway. They were laughing at animal abuse. At first I thought the woman was affected by the images and all of a sudden she was smiling and they were, laughing, looking at each other. Are you going to tell me that these people are ritual? Obviously not. I think these two vegetarians, they were not respectful. I mean, complete lack of respect, towards their victims and towards me. I was talking to them, they were not listening to me. They were looking at each other and they were laughing and smiling. And I don't know if they were pointing at their victims or they were pointing at my mobile phones. In any case, they ignored me completely, and that's really rude. Especially coming from vegetarians to vegetarians that according to them, they are on the side of the animals. This is a laughing matter. All right, there's something wrong with the Velcro in one of my, mobile phones. I always have to be fixing this shit. All right, stop.
Alright, I think I'm gonna live stream elsewhere. I'm gonna live stream on the I think I'm gonna live stream in the Gary Roasted page.
Hola, parlo català? English?
Parleu català.
Molt bé.
Sí.
Estic ensenyant les indústries que abusen animals. Llavors, els animals que veieu aquí són animals que suposadament han estat ben cuidats, sense gàbies, a l'aire lliure, etc., feliços, però que van tots a l'escorxador, per tant, tant és d'on hagin vingut, oi? Això és agradable o desagradable de veure?
Som vegetarians.
Per això estic aquí, perquè els vegetarians, el que no entenem els vegans és perquè de manera intencionada mateu les vaques, els nadons de les vaques, les gallines i els petits de les gallines. Per què ho feu, això?
No, si nosaltres no mengem animals.
Les gallines estan modificades i donen més de 300 ous a l'any. Això provoca sofriment tant mental com físic quan cada vaca posen un ou. Els pollets els trituren vius, els pollets mascles, perquè no duraran ous. Això ho estic ensenyant aquí, això ho sabeu perfectament, simplement us estic refrescant la memòria. Les gallines, quan deixen de produir molts ous, les posen en un lloc molt fosc, sense menjar i sense aigua, i això ho fan perquè agafen un estrès molt bèstia que fa que donin encara més ous.
Ho sé, i no cal que m'ho expliquis a mi perquè li puc explicar a qualsevol.
Doncs per això mateix, el que et pregunto és per què ho fas, això?
No ho faig. No m'has preguntat ni quin tipus d'ous menjo, ni d'on els trec.
Tots els ous, indistintament d'on vinguin,
Sí? I si tinc jo
és
les
el mateix,
gallines?
exactament el mateix.
I si tinc jo les gallines?
Exactament el mateix, i si m'ho permets, t'ho explico.
No cal.
No cal que t'ho expliqui? Molt
No,
bé.
perquè
Doncs això és el panorama que hi ha amb els vegetarians. No
Ja
tenim
ho
res a
sé.
parlar. Vinga, bona nit.
Bona nit.
She was the one who didn't want to talk to me, so I just said, okay, fine. Vegetarian. She got defensive and nasty. She said, I have my own chickens. Okay, do you want me to explain to you why it's still wrong? And she said, no, don't bother. Okay. And so I said, all right, I have nothing to talk to you then. I would have liked to talk to this woman on the right. She was evil as fuck, but she didn't allow me to. When I said, do you want me to explain why it's wrong that you are having your own chickens? And she said, no, I don't want you to explain it to me. So, you know, but I wish I could have talked to this person. These vegetarians, they deserve to be called out. They deserve to be exposed big time to the world. Vegetarians are the worst of the worst. All right. Okay, I'm gonna live stream in some other page because no one gives a shit about my interactions today. All right. Stop. All right, so I'm live streaming in the Gary group,
I've been live streaming all day on Facebook, on my in two of my groups for that purpose, but I'm having no feedback whatsoever there. So now I'm live streaming here in the Gary's group, which I created myself a few years back to see if anyone of you is actually participating in my live streams, all right? So I'm doing my solar cubes as usual. It's 1 a.m. in the morning. I just talked to a couple of monsters, vegetarians obviously. One of the monsters got really defensive and nasty. First of all, she said she had no idea whatsoever about the cruelty and the horrors behind the dairy and meat industry and the dairy industry, right? She was playing the... She was pretending she didn't know, all right? So I started to explain things, and then she interrupted me. And she said, yeah, I know, like, don't bother me or something, right? And then all of a sudden, she got really nervous, and she said, I have my own chickens, blah, 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 all right. And she, oh, no, first of all, she said, oh, but I buy eggs with with some specific label. And I said, well, they're coming from here just the same. It doesn't change anything. And she got nervous and she said, well, but I have my own chicken. So obviously she was full of shit. And so I said, okay. So I'm going to explain to you why it's also cruel. And she said, no, I don't want you to explain to me. And so I said, okay, so we have nothing to talk about. And she left. And I wish you could have watched this interaction. So now we could be talking to each other, which is what I want from these live streams, you see. I want you vegans to participate. I want you vegans to pay attention. And I want you vegans to add your comments and to critique my interactions, because sometimes I have very bad interactions and it's my fault. Yesterday, for instance, I had a very bad interaction. I lost my temper and I insulted people. So you see, it's not that I have mastered this whatever the word is, how you say that. To make a long story short, I want you to participate, to talk to me. I want you to share my live streams. I want you to add your comments. I want you to encourage other vegans to do what I'm doing. I want you to do what I'm doing. I want to encourage, 88 million vegans and only less than 1% are activists, right? I meet a huge amount of vegans on the street, and all of them, they're full of shit. Oh, I have no time, whatever. I don't even call them vegans. These people are just whole plant-based dieters, right? All of them holding hands with animal abusers, right? And I'm asking them all, okay, if your boyfriend tortured and killed dogs and cats, would you still be with him? And everybody says no. And then I ask him, how come you're still with him while he's torturing and killing the other victims? And interesting enough, some vegans, they think about it. So at the very least, I made them think. But they're still holding hands with the assholes. And I don't think I have succeeded at making any vegan split up with their boyfriends and girlfriends, but at least I tried my best. So today I had quite a good day. I veganized several people in the morning. I hardly slept anything, but I feel fine. But yesterday I had a very bad day. Oh man, yesterday it was horrific. And that's why I exploded and I insulted those people. But you know what? It was just out of confusion. I was confused and frustrated. I didn't expect them to leave the interaction just because I talked about rape. And it was my fault. And it was, I shouldn't have insulted them. I shouldn't have done that. And I'm not glad about it.
But today I had a good day, good interactions.
What's wrong with you?
And also a crazy interaction with a very tall guy. I didn't lose my temper because it was so fucking ridiculous. It was even funny. He spent like half an hour trying to defend and justify his animal abuse with absolutely the most idiotic and crazy arguments. And those arguments are new to be added to our list, because we already have all the typical things they say, but this guy was bringing up new stuff. And so that's why I think it was worth it to record everything. And by the way, the reason why the sound of my voice is not that good enough is because I'm speaking through the mask, obviously. So let's see. Let's see if anyone is uh, responding to my comments. No, nobody's responding. When I'm live streaming on Facebook, and when I'm live streaming in a group on Facebook, I hope everybody has a notification, right? So 2,000 people, more than 2,000 people, I think 4,000 people in this group. How come not even one of them is actually paying attention to the live stream now? Somebody explain to me what's going wrong. In this very same group, Paul Bashir is in this group as well. He joined this group 4 years ago. And I also invited quite a lot of Anonymous for the Voiceless, activists. So I think it would be a good idea to create a group for Anonymous for the Voiceless activists to participate and see my live streams. I think it would be a good idea. What do you think? Maybe this very same group should be the one that I should use for this purpose. Maybe I should invite all the Anonymous for the Voiceless organizers and volunteers in here. So the guy I was talking about, he was absolutely insane. And even though I didn't understand most of the stuff he was bringing up, the conversation still made sense. And I managed to survive, so to speak, the amount of stuff he was bringing up non-stop, which I didn't understand. So that's why I would like to study that interaction, and I would like to write down every single excuse, every single argument that he brought up. Again, it was different from the typical ones. That's why I think that interaction is precious. It should be an interaction to laugh about. It should be an interaction to be edited and to stop every time he tells something completely absurd and give a good rebuttal. And give a good rebuttal to every single shit he brings up. I think Atom and Brancier and also Michael Pitch would do a great job. Okay, somebody's smoking and it's really unpleasant. I don't know where the smoke comes from. I'm gonna put my special mask on. Okay, so now I'm talking through two masks. And talking about Paul Bashir, I'm ashamed to say I haven't sent him the picture for the special day on November, and that's really bad. Okay, I'll take out the mask, the special mask for the smoke. But I have the picture though. Yesterday I met some guys in the cube and they took pictures of me. I didn't even ask them to take pictures of me. The guy wanted to take pictures of me, and those people were not reachable. They didn't go vegan at the end of the interaction, but they were blatantly honest and they agreed about everything I said. So I didn't get upset with them. And at the end of the interaction, they were so pleased that one of them wanted to take pictures of me, and so I agreed, and that's why I have the picture to send to Paul. I don't know if the picture is good enough, but it's the only picture that I have for this new special day. And after this cube, I'm gonna send it to him, to the email that Sumaya, gave me. Yeah, so I'm live streaming in 3 different places. I'm live streaming in my YouTube channel. I'm live streaming in my YouTube channel. I have 2 YouTube channels, but only live streaming in one. Yeah, this guy's not ritual. And so I have 2 YouTube channels, but one of them is not working because YouTube is telling me that my phone is not the right phone, and that's because my phone is Spanish, and for whatever reason the YouTube channel is American, whatever that means. And I don't know how to switch it. I don't know how to fix that. And it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous because I had to get 50 subscribers or whatever. Now I have 70 in order to be able to live stream. And now that I have 70 subscribers, I haven't been live streaming. And so all the subscribers might be wondering why I'm not live streaming, right? They were kind enough to subscribe to my channel, and I'm not giving them anything, right? Any live streams, nothing, because of this stupid problem, right? I don't know how to fix this. But anyway, the reason why I created a new YouTube channel is because my original YouTube channel, the one that I'm using right now, has some glitches as well. I missed the glitches, right? I'm always suffering from glitches on Facebook, on YouTube, on, everywhere. It's so frustrating. And so I'm going to see if anyone is actually paying attention to this live stream. Well, there's some people in here. I don't know if the mobile phone that I'm looking at now, because I have 6 mobile phones. I don't know if this one is the one that I'm live streaming on in the Gary Roski page. I think so, yeah. I can hardly read your names because they're so small and there's not enough. The mobile phone, the brightness of the screen is at the minimum level in order to use as little battery as possible, because I'm live streaming all night, all day, and all day, and sometimes until 4 a.m. depending on the day. And so I have to save batteries. I'm using also external power banks attached to my waist.
Yeah, he was just trying to use the
Yeah, people know exactly what we're doing, right? The guy was saying, this is the animals, or whatever he said. Anyway, you might be wondering, if you don't know me, you might be wondering, what am I doing here, right? In the middle of the night, live streaming and talking to nobody.
at 1 a.m. in the morning. Well, it's it might sound weird, but people stop and talk to me, especially late at night because they can see me very well in this big square, and so I'm more noticeable, and that's why a lot of people see me and talk to me. People see me from far away, like those girls over there. And interesting enough, some people come close and talk to me after looking at me, after watching me for maybe sometimes even 10 minutes. I don't know if those girls are looking at me, probably not. I don't even know if you see those girls over there. I don't think so because it's too dark for the mobile phones to get them. But a lot of people are standing in front of me 10 meters away, and then they approach me and I talk to them. It's interesting, yeah? And sometimes the square is completely empty, and then all of a sudden people come from, out of the blue. It's amazing. It's amazing. And so I'm not sleepy yet, even though I already did my 12 hours, and I obviously already did my 3 official Anonymous for the Voiceless Solo Cube hours. So why not spending a little bit, more time doing this? Why not? Yeah, so I had some interesting interactions today. So I'll try to explain some of the interactions that I had in the last few hours. And remember that my voice doesn't sound very clear because I'm talking through the Anonymous for the Voiceless mask. So I'm recording using 3 mobile phones, and at the same time I'm live streaming with 3 other mobile phones, 6 total. One mobile phone is live streaming on my YouTube channel, one of my YouTube channel, as I just mentioned before. And then I'm using 2 mobile phones to live stream in 2 different groups. This one and another one. So I don't know if I told you about the last interaction that I had. It was with 2 vegetarians. I don't know if I mentioned this to you before. And obviously it was a unproductive interaction as usual. Vegetarians are the worst of the worst. It's impossible, absolutely impossible to reason with vegetarians. It's absolutely impossible. They come from the same mold. They have this obsession about eating secretions. There is a great quote from Gary Urowski about vegetarians, and I think it's a masterpiece of a quote. And I have the honor and the privilege to actually use that quote because Gary himself gave me permission to use it. He used it with a vegetarian that was actually trying to talk to him in the Gary Urowski fan page that I created in 2010 to get sponsors for him. And obviously these people could not give 3 fucks about their victims. And yeah, and some vegetarian was trying to communicate with Gary Urowski in that Gary Urowski fan page, and that vegetarian, I told him, look, I'm not Gary Urowski. This is a page for him. It's crystal clear that I'm not, that the page is a fan page. And so he said, look what Gary said to me. And so he sent me this magnificent quote that I was just talking about.
What's that?
The animal industry, those are your victims, the ones you're paying every single day to eat unnecessarily. And obviously you could not give three fucks about it. And so, as I was saying, the guy was really annoyed, the vegetarian that is, and he said to me, look what Gary Roski sent me, look what he has, you know, written, and he sent me this wonderful quote, and obviously I didn't agree with the vegetarian. I think I didn't even say anything to him. I was amazed at this quote. And so I'm using this quote, and you might ask, okay, tell us about the quote, right? I'm ashamed to say I didn't memorize the quote, and I should. And I'm using this quote in one of my groups called Vegetarians versus Meat Eaters, and the quote is the main picture of the group. And I'll post it. I'll post the quote in this group. I think I already did several times, but I'll post it again some other day. And so you'll enjoy this quote. And so the quote that I'm talking about describes very, very, very well vegetarians, calling them out, exposing them big time. And obviously vegetarians don't like this quote. Yeah. And talking about Gary Roski's fan page, I'm having a serious problem with the page because Facebook is accusing me of impersonating Gary, and that's why the page is what's the right word? I cannot post anything. It's not visible. It's still there, and I can still see the contents, but I cannot use it. And I wish I could convince Gary to give me a helping hand and save the page. But you know what? I don't think that's going to be possible, unfortunately. But at least I'll talk to. I'd like to. I'm going to try to convince his wife about the fact that this page should go on. Because thanks to that page, he got the sponsor that he's having now. Thanks to that page, I promoted the real Gary Roski when he was on Facebook. He asked me to promote his page, and I used the Gary Roski fan page to do so. So this page is really important, and it should be rescued, if you will. And I'm glad that I'm talking about this because I wanted to do something about it, and I hope Facebook is not going to destroy it completely. Thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of Gary Roski fans are in that page. And I'm glad that I created this group that I'm talking, that I'm, live streaming right now. I'm glad that I created it as a security blanket, so to speak. Because I always thought that something might happen to the main Gary Roski fan page. And so I thought, okay, I better create another group as a backup, as a
security blanket. And that's precisely why this very same group that I'm live streaming right now exists. If you read the description of this group, you'll understand why I created this group. Which is roughly what I just explained to you. So I'm still showing the footage. I'm using a very good battery right now. It lasts for 12 hours in a row. So yeah, feel free to add your comments. I don't know if you're listening to what I'm saying, but if you do, please try to add your comments. I'm gonna check that you're still there. I'm gonna check if anybody else decided to join. Okay, I can see there's some more people joining, and that's good. I can hardly see your names. As I said before, the letters are very small, and the brightness of my mobile phone is at the minimum level. Yeah. So as I was saying before, you might wonder, what am I doing here at 1 a.m. in the morning? There's hardly anybody on the street. But sometimes people come out, from the blue. Out of the blue, they show up out of the blue. I don't know. I'll never understand how this happens. Because we talk about groups of 20, 30 people. Sometimes it show up just out of the blue. And this is what's going on. Yeah, so tell me about yourselves. Why did you join this group in the first place? And what do you think of me doing solar cubes every day for 12 hours? Just in case you don't know me, I'm Marcus. I'm one of the organizers of Anonymous for the Voiceless in 2 main cities. And I'm doing solar cubes for 12 hours a day, every single day, 365 days a year. I'm live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and lately I've been also... I'm a fucking asshole. And, where was I? Yeah, I'm live streaming on Instagram as well, but I'm not happy about Instagram. And the reason why I'm not happy about Instagram is because they removed my live streams. They removed my live streams, and I think it's because sometimes I'm using the 4-letter word when I'm, doing these monologues. And I guess they have those stupid robots, and they remove my live streams, and then but at least they give me a chance to explain if I agree, if I disagree about the removing of my live streams, and I succeed at convincing Instagram that they did the wrong thing, and so they apologize and they post it again. But yesterday they removed a live stream and they didn't say anything about it, and I'm not even able to live stream anymore. I don't know how long this is gonna last, but this time they didn't send me anything. That's one thing, and the other thing is that all my live streams on Instagram, they remove them all after 30 days. So I have to be
I have to be attentive. I have to pay attention. Otherwise, they're gone. And they have actually removed a huge amount because I didn't download them first. So this is really frustrating and stressful. Obviously, this is not happening on Facebook and it's not happening on YouTube either. So I understand Instagram is good because a lot of people are joining Instagram. Anonymous for the Voiceless is also on Instagram, and a lot of Anonymous for the Voiceless activists, that is, including Paul Bashir. And so I know it's a good platform, but I'm not happy about what they do with my live streams, you know. So, as I said before, I've been live streaming on Facebook, but not in this particular group today. But if you want to see any of my live streams that I had today on Facebook, feel free to go to my Facebook account, to my Facebook wall. Oh no, wait a minute. I haven't been live streaming on my Facebook wall. I've been live streaming in two particular other groups for this purpose. One of the groups is called live streaming live streaming 2, and the other one is called live streaming 3. Anyway, the groups are public. So if you added me on Facebook, it should show anyway that I'm live streaming, and and you could go to those groups without even joining them. So I think tomorrow I'm gonna live stream here. Yeah, I think from now on I'm gonna live stream in this group because I have way more feedback in this group than in my Facebook accounts, and also more feedback than live streaming in those groups that I just mentioned. Uh, Probably because this group has a huge amount of people. But the thing is, my Facebook account has 4,000 people. And theoretically, I have 7,000 followers. I don't even know why any of them are actually paying attention to anything I post. And those ladies over there, dressed in black, they have been looking at me all the time from the distance. All right, I'm going to check if any of you have added yourselves to this live stream. I'm sorry I'm not having any interactions right now. Okay, I'm going to try to read your names. All right, I can see that I have a couple of friends, Harry and Raquel, or Rachel. I don't know how to pronounce your name, sorry. And I could not read the other names. Yeah, so as I was saying before, the last interaction that I had was with those vegetarians. The one on the right, she was ugly as fuck. Internally, not physically, obviously. Ugly inside. She got really nervous and defensive. First of all, she said, "No, I don't know what's wrong with eggs and dairy." She was trying to fool me. And so I started to explain in detail exactly what's going on, and then she interrupted me. And she said, I know. So obviously she lied at the beginning when she said she had no idea, right? And then all of a sudden she says, oh, but you don't know where I buy my eggs, she said. Hi, speak English? Spagnol? Français?
Italiano.
Non parlo italiano.
What is this?
I'm showing the behind the scenes of the industries that abuse animals. So I'm showing the best of the best, free range, cage free, humane certified, small farms. So the only thing you're interested in is in the cameras and not in what the footage. Is that it? All right. Obviously, these people are not reachable. They're laughing and they're fucking assholes. And so, what was I? Yeah, I was talking about those vegetarians. And so she said, "Oh, but you don't know where the eggs come from. You know, the eggs where I buy them." She said something like plus C or whatever, which I don't even know what it is. I should be informed about this plus C shit. And I said, well, all the eggs come from here. It doesn't matter. All those labels. It's what I just tried to explain at the beginning of the interaction. It doesn't matter where the animals come from. They all wind up in the slaughterhouse. So then she got nervous, even more nervous, and she said, "Oh, but I have my own chickens." She said, "All right, so I'm going to explain to you why it's wrong to have your own chickens." And she said, "No, I don't want you to explain." And I said, "Okay, so we have nothing to talk about." And that's it. Hi, speak English?
Yeah.
Spanish, English? I'm showing the behind the scenes of the industries that abuse animals. So I'm showing the best of the best. I'm showing free range, cage free, humane certified, small farms. It doesn't matter where the animals come from. They all wind up in a slaughterhouse just the same. So these are the standard practices of the animal industry. So is this pleasant or unpleasant to see?
Unpleasant.
For all of you, is this pleasant or unpleasant to see? Yeah, for you too? Yeah?
Yeah, it doesn't follow.
No, you think it's all right?
Doesn't follow.
So if it's not good enough for your eyes, how come it's good enough for your stomach? Because I don't know. Are you eating this? Yes or no?
No, this doesn't follow.
Oh, you're vegan then?
No.
Oh no,
Oh.
I'm going to KFC right now.
Doesn't follow my religious beliefs.
What your religious beliefs had to do with the fact that I'm showing you the standard practices of the animal industry. And by the way, I'm also showing halal. I have a lot of friends who are Muslim, and they are vegan, and they are also activists.
They're Muslim
So
and they're vegan.
yeah, and in order to be a good Muslim, you don't need to. Are you listening to me? Obviously not. All right, so I have nothing to talk about. That's the only thing that you're interested, right? I'm talking about your victims, and the only thing you're interested are the phones. All right, so
Oh, you have a whole bunch of phones.
is there anything I could say to you that might interest you? Because you don't seem to be interested about what I'm talking.
No.
No. All right, so good night. Obviously, these people are not reachable. So what was I? Yeah, I was talking about the vegetarians, right? Okay, and so I don't know if I told you, I had the most incredible interaction with a guy who was trying to defend and justify his animal abuse with the most stupid and amazing arguments. And it was so weird that actually I recorded everything, obviously, and I live streamed everything. And it was even funny. I mean, I didn't get upset or anything. It was so, what's the right word? Like an acid trip. And I think it would be interesting to share the video to everybody and to have a laugh, because I'm going to write down every single stupid argument that he brought up. Most of the arguments that he brought up, I didn't even understand them. And this guy over there, he's smiling. It's amazing. Dealing with the darkest side of humanity, dealing with the scum of the night. This is exactly what I'm doing. And by the way, the interaction that I just had with this bunch of people, as you could see, they could not give three fucks about what I was showing. And the big guy, the Muslim guy, when I said I have vegan friends who are Muslim, he said, "Oh, that's interesting." So I thought, okay, we're going to have an interesting conversation. And then he just fucking left. Yeah, so this is what's going on. All right. Let's see if there are other people joining this live stream. Well, probably not. You see, I'm
looking at the screen and I see you guys there, but I don't know if your comments are actually showing up in here. Did you see the young woman, how ugly she was? She was only interested about my cameras. I was actually, it's such a ugly society we're living in. I'm usually explaining to them why I'm using the cameras. I didn't even bother with this little monster. And then when I was asking questions to these people, they didn't even answer the questions. So I had to look at their eyes and make them answer the question. So I think it's a good question to ask these people when they're obviously showing no interest whatsoever. To ask them, is there anything I could say to you that might interest you? And obviously they say no, and that's it. Also, when they get nasty and ugly, instead of telling them to fuck off, I think it's a good idea to say, okay, is there anything I could say to you that might interest you? And they usually say nothing and they leave, which is a good way to get rid of them. Or they force themselves to ask stupid questions, or maybe just one question and then they leave. So either way it's good because they leave, right? Which is exactly what I want. I want to get rid of these fucking trolls. Well, these people, they were just obviously uninterested, completely indifferent to their victims, aka 99% of the population. Alright, so I wish I could edit all my videos and show you all my interactions with people going vegan. I don't think I'll ever have time to do that. So I wish I could find some vegan activists willing to edit my videos, at least one video a month, just cutting it, from the rest of the video, aka me having my monologues, and so cutting out the monologues and only saving the actual interaction with the people that go vegan, and cut the main part when they say, yeah, I'm going vegan, and place it at the beginning of the interaction film. There was a way of editing videos on YouTube. It was very easy. I actually edited a lot of videos on YouTube, and all of a sudden the feature is no longer available. At least I don't find it anywhere, and it's so fucking frustrating. Because it was very easy to use, and I know that now we have the cut or whatever you call it, and I know it's easy, I know it's free and everything, but I have never used it, so I guess I'm too lazy. Alright, so maybe I'll call it a night, because this is not working. People will completely ignore me, and I'm just dealing with scum, like the group of people that I met before. So Rachel, if you're still there, tell me something. We hardly ever talk, you and I. And by the way, I'm glad that we're still friends on Facebook, because I remember some time ago we had our little fights. in my debates group, and I'm glad that you joined this one. As you can see, this group has no conflicts, no trolls. Alright, so obviously there's nobody on this street right now, right? There's absolutely nobody, alright? So I think I'm taking advantage of the street 100% of 100%, right? Until the very end. Because obviously, if I started doing this at 7 a.m. in the morning, it would not work. Because people at 7 a.m. in the morning, they wake up to go to work. So they don't want to talk to me. So 7 a.m. is about hour, 8 a.m. is about hour. Maybe from 10 on, you see some tourists. Tourists don't wake up very early, so 10 a.m. is a good hour. Even though the light is not good for the screens. Yeah, so as I was saying, I'll probably call it a night. But at least I had some of you paying attention, which is better than nothing. And so yeah, as I was saying before, when they asked me about the cameras, I explained to them why I'm using cameras. But these people didn't leave because I was using cameras. They were already leaving when I said to them that the only thing they care about are the cameras. They were all already leaving, especially the big guy.
Zo, wat is dit dan? Dit is de hek aan.
Oh, maar god, dit was laatst ook waar ik leuk. Ja, maar dit vind ik best wel gek. Maar laatst zo'n rivier, zo in zo'n vierkant. Alle kanten.
Kijk uit.
Complete indifference. So maybe I was not very nice to the people that I just talked to before, the big guy and everything. I obviously felt that none of them had any intentions whatsoever to stop killing animals and had no intentions whatsoever to pay attention to what I was saying or looking at the screen. They just expressed sheer indifference. And so when this happens, I guess sometimes it can be, I guess I radiate my, my disgust, right? But I don't think there's a huge difference between talking to these people, smiling, or just talking the way I did. I don't think it makes any difference. These people don't give a shit. They just stopped because they had no idea what I was doing, and that's it. Alright, so shall I call it a night or what? So it asked me to invite Harry to the video, and when I do invite him, it says it's not possible. I don't know why this is so, and I don't know why it asked me to invite him, because Harry has been in this group for a long time, and he's the one actually is posting from time to time, or at least following my live streams.
All right. So what time is it? Okay, it's almost 2 a.m. in the morning, and I don't know what to do because there's nobody here, and there's nobody over there, and maybe I should call it a night. Okay, I'm gonna wait for those people, for those two guys over there, and that's it. All right. So again, if you're still watching my live stream, feel free to add your comments before I wrap it up. And I'm glad it didn't rain, because theoretically a hard rain is gonna fall, and they've been telling us so for the last few days, but nothing's happening. All right, so that's it. All right. Obviously, that guy is not gonna stop. He's more interested in his mobile phone. Okay, I'm gonna call it a night. And you know what? When I stop doing this, and I'm just getting ready to leave, and I disconnect the cable and everything, then people actually stop and talk to me. Can you believe it? Doesn't make any fucking sense. But that's exactly how it's going on. That's exactly what's going on. All right. So, okay. So I'm gonna stop all my recordings. Stop here. Stop there. Okay, this one is full. Alright. Full. Okay. Stop this live stream.